Welcome everyone to the Virtual Goddess Channeling and Alignment Circle. I'm Anna of the Quantum Light Practice, and I'm just so happy to be here with you today to receive and share the Starseed Abundance Codes. So welcome. So the first thing that we will talk about is, what is a starseed? Are you a starseed? And the way that the starseed has a very particular journey, and I'll ask everybody to go on mute. Let's make sure we're all on mute as we're recording. Okay. And so the starseed. And this is the starseed is a being of light who has facets of their spirit, facets of their soul that comes from galactic origins. Okay, so there are different star systems and galaxies and planets that we have had experiences in other incarnations and multidimensionally. So we are communicating and having experiences in other dimensions in these with galactic beings. So in the quantum light practice, we work multidimensionally. And so we are in this circle, we're learning how to navigate that. We're learning to awaken to that and to integrate that so that it's just a normal part of our lives. It's not anything strange, it's just who we are. And so what happens is, if we are star seeds, and many of us, if you are in this circle, you have these connections, you have these relationships with galactic beings of light, and you resonate with that vibration. So let's go ahead and close our eyes and just experience the inner quantum field. And just be aware, as I'm talking about these things, what comes forth for you, because this is what we're going to put on the altar of this transmission in order to offer it to the divine and to receive healing and to activate the Starseed codes. So just close your eyes and take a deep breath, and you want to have your spine erect. And you're feeling your hips sink into your chair, feet flat on the floor, so that the energy can move freely up and down the spine. So none of your limbs are crossed, so that you are an open conduit to receive this energy. And so the starseed often has a certain sensitivity and certain gifts. And so we're going to work a little bit with what we call the Starseed Wound. So what happens is sometimes when we are a starseed and we have these gifts, we incarnate sometimes in an environment where we are not fully received, or where we don't have the opportunity to cultivate these gifts. And so this can come, we can have this experience of, we may have a very powerful intuition. We may be seeing energy dynamics in the family, and we may share about this. We may be seeing things, we may be feeling things. And then when we share that with other family members or other people in our environment, they may not resonate with that. They may not understand it. They may actually even invalidate our gifts, consciously and unconsciously. Because if that person in our environment is simply not experiencing that, simply does not have that sensitivity, they are just not able to validate us. And so oftentimes, and it's part of the process, you know, we all have our experiences with this in different contexts and different forms. But what happens is it creates trauma. We can experience trauma, and we oftentimes choose to shut down those gifts in that wound. And so that is the starseed wound. And that is the surface of that wound, because the origin, the true origin of that wound is the experience that we have when we incarnate into the physical vessel and we experience separation for the first time. So as we incarnate into the physical vessel, we experience our individuality. It's often shocking to the individual consciousness to be separated from that experience of oneness and to incarnate into the physical vessel. So that would be called, that we refer to that as the original wound. Okay, so it's like, it's not because you ate an apple. It's because you incarnated, you individuated from the oneness, from the creator, the divine creative life force energy, and you individuated into an individual physical vessel. And that creates the experience of separation, which in itself is a trauma. Okay, and so that trauma is unconscious. And as we each have different experiences, as we each move along in our individual paths, that trauma can be triggered by certain experiences that we have in living. It can come up with a loss that we may have, or a disappointment, or an experience of abuse, or feelings of not being able to find our soulmate, for example. It can trigger this very profound experience of abandonment, or hopelessness, or unworthiness. So these are kind of like these, like the tip of the iceberg of this original wound. Every human has this. Everyone that's in a body has this. And this original wound also becomes unconscious, and it becomes shadow. Okay, so as long as you have a body, you're going to be experiencing shadow. So let's just take a deep breath and just allow that to be absorbed into your system. What resonates for you? Just take deep breaths. And so in this transmission, the Starseed Abundance Codes, we are going to transform the original wound into fierceness, into originality. The transmission is fierce originality. So take a deep breath. So that vibration of, again, the starseed wound, it comes forth as feeling like you're not able to relate to people, you're not acknowledged, you're not seen, because again, these gifts start to go unconscious, and for some reason we don't feel like we're ourselves, we don't feel like we belong. Many of us have this feeling, I don't belong on this planet, like what's going on this planet, I don't belong here. And so that feeling can repeat itself through the years, and it becomes like a repetitive pattern of feeling separate. Into unity consciousness. This is what we're doing in this global paradigm shift. So all the frequencies of separation are coming forth in order to come out of the shadow and to be acknowledged and to be recalibrated and to come into alignment, into presence. So it's not like we get rid of it. It's just that we come into alignment with it. We integrate it. So we face it as well. Okay, so this is where we cultivate fierceness. And that feeling of being different and never fitting in and never getting what you want and feeling abandoned by the divine, that is a big one. Where that is a big trigger where we feel abandoned. We can feel abandoned, that and lonely. That vibration, that shadow quality is transformed into the light, into originality, into your signature essence, your uniqueness as a being of light incarnate. And we are all unique beings of light. We are all, each of us individually, are a very specific combination of experiences, of DNA, and you are unique. And you're here to do something that only you can do. So we celebrate our uniqueness, and it's part, and coming into that signature essence is how we actually are able to come into the oneness in a way that's authentic, in a way that's fierce, in a way that's original. So that's what we're working with today. So again, take a deep breath. And breathe out. And so then how do we come into that fierce originality? So again, we have these different traumas. One that is a core trauma that every human being has inside of them, consciously and unconsciously. And so in the quantum light practice, what we do is we activate, we bring, it's like we're bringing to the surface awareness. We're becoming aware of these dynamics inside of us. And so we bring it up to the surface, and then we use the quantum light frequencies to purify, to empty ourselves of these identities that are no longer serving us. You know, again, the identity of being different, the identity of not fitting in, these become part of our identity. So we're bringing this up. And so just like and this is an example that's often used, but it's just such an excellent example, I'll just have to say it, where, you know, the wave and the ocean. So each of us is a wave, a tiny aspect of the ocean. And we arise as a wave, and then we dissolve into the oneness. And so we start to, as we receive these activations, as we cultivate this fierce originality, we can start to identify more with the ocean, more so than this temporary individual experience. So take a deep breath. We become very aware that we are temporarily living as a wave, but that we are the ocean. And then we start to resonate more with the ocean, the experience of being the ocean. And then we have these experiences of being a wave. So again, take a deep breath and just observe inside of you, what is coming up for you? What is resonating in what's being shared here? What is resonating for you? What is not resonating for you? And just observe, because the ocean is the witness consciousness, the sacred heart. Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Allowing yourself to simply be with what's coming up for you, because what's coming up for you is what's going to be coming into alignment. So we just allow it and we observe. You don't have to change it, just be aware. And this is also your contribution to the circle. Okay, so we're going to begin with the with grounding, as we always do, because when we are journeying multidimensionally, we always want to begin by anchoring ourselves into this physical vessel and being very clearly and profoundly activated, anchored into the core of the earth. And from that place, that's when we can do this work. So we'll begin by bringing our attention to the base of your spine, the root chakra. And we can either visualize or make the intention that we're going to see a line of energy that connects the base of your spine and this line of energy, which we call the grounding cord, moves through all the layers of the earth. And we can see as we bring our attention through all the layers of the earth that all the different elements are lighting up. The earth, the water, the fire, connecting with Gaia, the core of the earth, this living and breathing entity that is Gaia. And we make the intention, we're connecting and anchoring ourselves into the ascended Gaia, Terra Christa. Hano uno hai ini shinakeish kishikozu sunwa. Sakana inai shinowa ha'a. Sana inai. And then you see yourself, this line of energy connecting into this diamond white core, center of the earth, the crystalline grid of the ascended Gaia. And you can experience her presence and you say hello and you receive her welcome. She welcomes you. And then that vibration rises up through that grounding cord, which becomes like a tunnel. And that energy rises up through all the layers of the earth into your system, rising up through the soles of your feet, rising up into the root chakra, into the spine, rising up through the spine. So we'll just take a few moments for you to experience that earth energy rising up into your body, and your body is absorbing this light, this diamond white light. As we come into alignment with Gaia. And that energy continues to rise up through the spine, and it's moving through all the energy centers of the body. into the heart. And then it rises up into the throat and fountains out the crown of the head. Okay, so this is what we call running energy, running earth energy through your body. So you just breathe it in, you can visualize it, and you can also intuit this. Whatever way works for you is fine. Okay, we are cultivating a relationship with this vibration of Gaia. And so you will do it in your unique way. So we just honor whatever's happening is perfect for you. And then the crown of your head opens, it just blossoms like a beautiful lotus flower. And this is where you're going to receive. And if your body starts to move a little bit, just allow it, because that's the energy moving. You might kind of, feel like a rocking or a circular motion. And again, allow it. This is the energy moving through your system. And so allowing yourself to receive the cosmic light that's coming through the central sun, this golden light coming in through the crown of the head, entering into the brain, and you can just see this golden light being absorbed by all the neural pathways of the brain, balancing the left and the right hemispheres, entering into the pineal gland at the center of the head, all the different glands of the brain, the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, all these glands that regulate your hormones are being up-leveled. So we'll just spend a little bit of time here. Again, just receiving the earth energy and the cosmic light into the brain, bringing the brain into balance, cleansing and purifying all the thought processes. All these very patterns of thinking and feeling that have become very deep-rooted. We're going to soften them with these quantum light frequencies. Cleansing and purifying the throat. And then that cosmic light moves into the heart where there's a fusion. The earth energy and the cosmic light. And this is our alignment. This is how we become a conduit for the divine presence, for the divine energy. We become a conduit and we emanate this light all around us, throughout the environment all around us. And this is how we contribute very powerfully to the transformation of consciousness, just being in alignment with our own divine self, with Gaia, and with the cosmos. Alignment, no matter what is occurring in the outer world. And so the first beings of light that are coming forth are the Syrian star beings. And they're coming forth in an indigo blue. So you can visualize that color. It's a facet of light. Color is a facet of light. So each color that comes forth has certain qualities that are supporting us in this work. So we're going to first begin with indigo blue, and the black jaguar is coming forth. So it's like a feline vibration is coming forth. And the black jaguar is a being, a spirit guide, that assists us to see in the unconscious. This is where we activate our visionary capacity. The jaguar is a nocturnal animal, and she's fierce. She's a huntress. So in this work, we are allowing the shadow to come forth and to be brought into the light. And when we work with the codes, it's very important to empty, to create space to receive. So there is a purification process that occurs. And it doesn't matter how many times we've done it, we do it again. So because we go deeper and deeper and deeper. And if we go into resistance, oh, I've already done this before, that means we have to do it again. Because that's the resistance coming forth of the unconscious, not wanting to be seen, wanting to hide, wanting to stay asleep. So we get irritated. Why do I have to do this again? I already did this work. I already did the inner child thing. So just allow that, any resistance to come forth. Deep breaths. Okay, and so like the first pattern, let's say, that's coming forth for the group has to do with the vibration of control. And this is when we truly believe that we're a wave and that we're not the ocean. We're not aware that we're the ocean, and we believe that we can be controlled by forces outside of us. This is an illusion. So just bring forth any vibration, any energy that you have experienced lately where you felt you were being controlled, and the rage that comes forth with that, the being limited, and the belief that this is a force outside of you that's out of your control. It creates frustration, it creates rage, and it creates frequencies of separation. It's an illusion. And then we immediately go into a frequency of separation. Take a deep breath and just allow those experiences, those energies to come forth, because this is the opportunity to clear it out. Because as long as it's vibrating inside of you, you will attract experiences in the outer world that reveal it to you. We will continue, as long as it's unconscious, we will continue to attract experiences where we can project that frequency of separation into the outer world. So we take care of it inside first. And this energy of control is rooted in our resistance to surrender to the divine presence within us. So that resistance is then projected into the outer world as control. So again, we go to the root, our resistance to surrendering to the divine. Now, we have this resistance because we have experienced abuse from institutions, religious institutions, governments, leadership, authority. And so we're going to clear, we're going to allow that to come up. We're just allowing. And the Syrian beings of light are coming forth with this blue fire. And so then we allow that blue fire and violet fire, the indigo blue and violet flames, to come in through the crown of the head. As we're talking about these things, things are coming up for each of us individually, and you make the intention to offer it to the fire, the violet fire of purification. This violet is a very high frequency of purification. And oftentimes, when these kinds of frequencies of separation show up in the outer world, it can also lead us to make changes and shifts that are necessary. So we welcome them. Take deep breaths. And allowing that violet flame to move through your system, through the throat area, the way that we communicate our truth with ourselves, with others, the way that we emanate without speaking, our authenticity, because we have faced the shadow inside of us. We no longer believe that we're being controlled by the outer world, but we are in surrender. We choose surrender to our own divine self, not an outer institution, not an ideology, but the experience of presence inside of us. That's what we're surrendering to, our own divine self, which is beyond all ideology, all philosophy. It is beyond culture. It is your experience, your relationship with the divine presence within you. That is the Christ consciousness. The awareness of the divine presence inside of you. Beyond any kind of religious ideology, philosophy. Cultural beliefs, cultural conditioning. It's completely beyond it. It's your sovereignty as a being of light incarnate that is not dependent on the outer world. It's an inner state. It's your freedom. Authentic freedom. And when that freedom is threatened, when we believe that freedom is threatened, that is when the original wound comes forth. And we may go into states of frustration, of feeling abandoned, of rage at the divine. How can you let this happen? How can this happen? Why is this happening? Why do I have to go through this? All that can be a very powerful rage. So we allow it and we offer it to the violet fire. We surrender to the process. And that's when the miracles happen, because we no longer have that obstruction inside of us. We faced that shadow inside of us. We're authentic. Because when that came up, when that frequency of separation or that experience of being abandoned, we faced it. We went into the fire. We don't sweep it under the rug. We face it and we process internally. We process internally. It's not coming from the outside world. It's nothing we have to fight in the outside world. It's an inner experience. And then we offer it to the fire. Again, alignment. This is what we call inner activism, where we pull back our projections from the outer world and we face them inside ourselves and process them internally. Clearing, cleansing, purifying, coming into alignment with the present moment, calling our energy back from the past, all fragmented parts of ourselves into the present moment, to come into alignment, bringing our attention from the future back into the present moment. That is alignment. Now we're in that now moment. And that's when we're in the experience of miracles. That's when we become embodied and fierce. So just allowing that indigo, blue, violet again to be swirling through our system. Luminous light 333, just receiving some codes, some number codes 33322. Infinite choice. 888. Freedom. Claim your freedom. It is not dependent on what anyone else is doing. It is an inner state. Deep breaths. And so the next galactic frequency that's coming forth is the Venus light, the Venus beings of light. And I'm recognizing the Venus beings, Lakshmi is a Venus being, this goddess of abundance. Magdalene, Mary Magdalene is a Venus being of light. She's coming forth very powerfully. And then Sarah, who is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, coming forth. And she has her green, emerald green vibration. And this is the vibration of life, the greening of the heart. The heart becomes moist. So the heart is absorbing this green light that's coming forth. And there's an energy center called the Hrit Padma. And that chakra is between the navel and the heart. So just become aware. This is also referred to as the seat of the soul, the witness consciousness. So just become aware of where that is inside of you. The Hrit Padma chakra. And just allowing that space to be activated with this emerald green vibration of Sarah. And Sarah is the perfect fusion of masculine and divine feminine energies. The sacred marriage. She is the expression of the sacred marriage. Which is the miracle vibration. So we're activating the Hrit Padma, the seat of the soul, the divine spark inside of you with this vibration. Sonoaini Shanai Shanai Nai Nai Sono Korua Anaina Shniki. Well done, divine beings of light. Sonoa Anai Shniki Shnoko. Our endurance is being acknowledged. Sonoa Anai Nai Shino Sono Korua Nai Nai Sana Onoa Anai Nai Shniki. Sono korua nai nai chinokoro o sonoko o soko. Just receive the light language transmission. Soko noa nai nai shinoko no no noa nai 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 sanai shinai sinake ni ini chinake so sono hono hai nai 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 shene ine shinokoro sonokorahi I shikishako sono ko soa nai. Sarah is a powerful ascended being of light that's coming forth this time. To assist us in manifesting this balance between the dark and the light. To come into balance with Gaia, to come into balance with the cosmic light, to come into balance with the masculine and feminine energies inside of us, so that we are no longer polarized, divided inside of us, but that we come into union, divine union. So we can call on her vibration when we do feel divided, when we're processing frequencies of separation, when we're in that suffering, when we're in that pain, we call on the beings of light who have experienced all of this before us in their incarnations. And they are here to support us. Because as we tap into their frequencies of light, they uplift us. And they can bring us up into that ascended frequency of light, to have those experiences and integrate those experiences of union. So this energy center, the Rit Padma, is the sacred heart inside of you. The sacred heart. And we're going to ground that energy center. So just be aware of where that is in your body. Again, it's in between the solar plexus and the heart, the sacred heart. And so just like we grounded the root chakra into the core of the earth, we are going to ground this energy center into the core of the earth. So it's activated and then grounded and anchored into the infinite abundance of Gaia. This experience of total fulfillment, nourishment, contentment, wholeness. So then allowing that connection again between Gaia and the infinite wholeness of Gaia, the ascended Gaia. And then allowing yourself to receive that vibration. Allowing your heart, the sacred heart, to be completely saturated with that vibration of infinite abundance. And then being aware of that Venus light that's coming in through the crown of the head, this galactic vibration of Venus entering in through the crown of the head. And activating the Rit Padma with the rainbow ray of opulence and bliss. And then we're going to bring forth the purifying vibration as we continue to come into alignment and receive this activation of fierce originality. We're going to bring forth this violet flame. And that violet is moving through your system. Every cell of your body is being cleansed and purified to the tiniest electron, receiving this violet fire of purification. And in this way, we raise the frequency of the body, of the physical vessel, and we become more and more embodied. This creates space to become more deeply embodied and more deeply integrated in wholeness, in divine union, clearing all the frequencies of separation that we're ready to let go of and release back into the oneness. And then tapping into new frequencies of light that we did not have access to before. As these obstructions are removed and integrated, This creates space to receive the Starseed Abundance Codes. And so we're tapping into the vibration of total realization, fulfillment, wholeness. The authentic experience of knowing that you have everything that you need and that you are completely cherished and honored for the divine being that you are. It just is. It's a given. It's nothing you have to strive for. It's nothing that you have to reach for. It is you becoming you. Shana onoa ana ini shinaki shinakoroa. Soskuru sunakoaha ana. Being of light incarnate, expressing divine union. Soko onoaha ana ini shinakirei chikichiko, emanating union. And it becomes very authentic. It becomes very palpable because you have faced that shadow inside of you. You're aware. Again, no longer projecting that into the outer world, into people in the outer world, into those people that do this that I don't like. That's old school. That's old paradigm. I am sovereign in this now moment, in union with the divine presence inside of me. This is who I am. Shanoko o shikoro ha ana ina shinaki. Sokono usko ha ani ini shinakare chiki shikono sunokorai cha hanai. This is a light language transmission from the Venus beings. Soko o shoke he shini shino sunoa ha nai nai chinakoro o soko shikowai. Hane kini e kini kini ke isinike e shikane no. Sanai nai hine chinakara o no sonoko o shakoaha. Shana I kini chinaka e chikichiko sorokoaha. Shana I nai chinakara o sonokoroaha. So when we're in the state of wholeness and this awareness of union, then we are so fulfilled. We're so aligned with our own divinity that we can gently and compassionately experience the world around us, allowing everyone to be where they are. And we choose to vibrate in the dimension of sovereignty. So others who are in a different state of consciousness, others who are in polarized states of consciousness are no longer a threat because we're in our sovereignty and we're emanating that vibration out into the world. So skoro sunokora ini chinakara e chikichikoro sunokoro shushkoro sunokoaha sonoshinoaha nai. And even if it appears that we've opened the door in our interaction with others, in our daily life, that we've opened the door to discord inside ourselves, that we've opened the door to experiences of division and pain. So we welcome those experiences because we know that we are cleaning house. We're cleaning our house, emptying in order to receive new delights. So we can celebrate So when it comes on, some kind of like a foreign energy seems to overcome us. So we can say, bring it on. Let's do this. Let's clear this out. I'm ready. That is your fierceness. And that is your originality. And that's how you can be different from the usual thing that we're seeing all around us that only escalates division. So we can see the feelings, because the feelings are the vibrations. So we see the feelings that come up when we have these experiences. And we focus on processing those vibrations through our system. And this is a practice that takes time to fully realize. It takes time and experience. And so we can ask for support, again, from the beings of light, our own personal team of beings that come forth to support us. We all know who they are for each of us individually. So you call forth those ascended beings of light in those moments, and they will uplift you and assist you to come into neutrality. To feel is to heal. So we face with courage, we face the shadow inside of us, we ask for support, and then we recalibrate and come into alignment in ways that are very unexpected. And we surrender to the process of ascension. This is the process of ascension. It's not easy. But we are cultivating courage and fierceness, because if we don't go through anything, we don't learn. It's very hard to learn these things or cultivate these qualities if everything's just, we don't go through anything. So the purpose of going through these challenging moments is to cultivate that courage and fierceness and autonomy, where we have very specific experiences where we choose sovereignty. Okay, so let's continue to receive that rainbow ray in through the crown of the head. Kuan Yin is coming forth, the Divine Mother, in the form of Kuan Yin. So just receive a blessing from the Divine Mother. Just total support and nourishment and understanding and acknowledgement. You're being acknowledged for all that you've done to contribute to the transformation of consciousness in these times, in this incarnation. Bravo. So shono haishkin sene heishin so shko no ono ni ini sene ishanan no na ini shinakora nai sanai shino ko shwa. Focus on the Rit Padma as you receive this light language. Ha no 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 na ini shinakara ni shinakura suno ko shwa ha ini sana shinakura usuno ha na ini shinakara e chika chika chikono suno koro no wa sana ina ini shinakura usuno ko o suno ko shino koro a ini hani shinakura ai chika chikono suno ko ha na ina chika ko sora sana ina shinakara e chika chiko suno koro ha na And just receiving this beautiful pink ray of self-love, self-care, compassion, patience. Just allowing yourself to absorb those qualities, those codes, those starseed codes, compassion, patience, fulfillment. You have all that you need in this now moment. And so be aware of the connection with Gaia. Be aware of the connection with Gaia. And then allowing that vibration again to come forth, to rise up from the core of the earth and to fuse, create this fusion with the Venus light and the activation of the Hrit Padma chakra. And that fusion then emanates as luminous light, the illumination of your inner quantum field. So just experience that illumination and space. You can feel space. The no thingness space. And then Seshat is coming forth, and she is one of the keepers of the Akasha. Clearing the field, clearing, entering the 0 point field. Where there is space of infinite possibilities. Surrendering to that emptiness. No longer identifying with the wave. Knowing that you are the ocean. Infinite bliss. Sana inai chinakura chikora ono sukosurwa. So skoroshino ha nai iskiraskoroskorwa. Shoskoroshino ono chunakora ahene. So skorowa hanai. Okay. So we're just offering thanks as all of these frequencies of light integrate into our system. We'll continue to integrate in the next few days. So it's important to drink water. A lot of water, salt baths, juicing, whatever it is that you do to purify your system. essential oils, all these beautiful resources that we have from our beloved Gaia, the water, working with the violet fire. We'll continue to receive these codes from nature, the green vibration of life, the greening of the heart. So offering so much gratitude to the beings of light that came forth for us today, the galactic beings, the Syrians, the Venus beings of light, Mary Magdalene, Sako Nuaha Lakshmi, Sako Kuan Yin, and Seshat. These beautiful divine and feminine forms. Thank you. And then just receiving a final blessing to seal out all that we've released and to seal in these new frequencies that we now have access to and are learning how to integrate and cultivate in the days to come. Breathing in and receiving that golden light, Christ consciousness, sovereignty. In the world, but not of it. We are stars wrapped in skin. The light you are seeking has always been within. Beautiful words from Rumi. And freshen your grounding cord so that you are fully anchored into Gaia throughout your day. Be aware of this connection as you continue to process and receive and heal and release and receive and expand and contract and then grow in this endless, infinite, beautiful experience that we're having as beings of light incarnate. Align with the divinity that is you.